So you talked about, witnessing domestic violence and also your father
Yeah.
being sexually abusive to your sister. Just witnessing some of those things, right? Like as a child, like do you remember what you were thinking?
Man, so I didn't find out what he did to my sister till I was older. Maybe till I was, I think when I was like 29. But I do remember that my sister, I was like 5 years old, 6 years old, and my sister will always want me to sleep on her bed, and she would like hug me like like tight, like a teddy bear. Like she would just hug me. And come to find out, the day that she told me that she was being abused, she said that anytime that, because I would be like, I want to sleep in the room with my brothers. I don't want to sleep over here with you. But she told me that any time that I didn't sleep with her in the room, that's when my dad would come and abuse her. So it hurts knowing that. It
R-
hurts.
Right. And I think the people from the outside would take a look at the things that your father did and characterize him as a monster, right? Like to do those things to their family and overall the things that you described that he did in his life. How do you view your father like at that time and then as an adult now, like processing what has happened and being able to reflect?
Um, Definitely want to be careful how I say this, because I know there's a lot of victims out there. So I will say, yeah, he was a monster. But one thing that I realized, and not long ago, I just turned 43. He died when he was, uh, I think it was 39. And so now when I look back, I'm like, man, like I outlived my dad. And looking back now, I'm like, wow, like, because I'm getting older, I'm like, man, like he was young. Like he still had a lot ahead of him. And something inside of me tells me, man, if he had the type of men, around him that were like me now, um, could they help him? Would they give him the right advice? Would they intervene and do something about it? I have these things inside of me that now the way that I handle situations and try my best to help other people and hold them accountable for their actions, something inside of me breaks for my dad. I feel bad for him.
Right. And did you like growing up, did you have resentment for him for what happened in your life? Or like were you able to forgive him early on?
Man, to be honest, I never felt hate towards him. He was my dad. When my sister told me that, um, I kind of gave all my attention to her and her hurt. I didn't want to think about him. Um, but there was a time, and we'll talk about it in a little bit, when I was in prison before I left. That was, I think, the day that I walked out. That was the day I said, man, I got to forgive this dude because I can't live my life holding on to what he did.
Right. And do you know if your sister has been able to forgive him?
I don't think so. No.
Yeah, that kind of abuse kind of seems it's I know for people that I know personally as well, it's kind of like a life sentence of pain. You know what I mean? Like it's really difficult to overcome.
Yeah. I could just imagine how can she even look at him as a dad?
Right. Hmm.
So I think that's where that's in her where she don't want to forgive him because, he's no longer her dad. He was just a monster, like you said in the beginning.